Hall of Famer Gary Williams joins us now from our campus studio in College Park. Coach, how surprised are you about the conference starts of Michigan State and Nebraska? And what does it say about the coaching job of both Tom Izzo and Tim Miles?
Well, Michigan State with Tom Izzo, I had some of my best losses against Tom Izzo. So his teams are predictable in that they get better as the year goes on, and that's not a surprise to anyone that they've gotten better. He played such a tough schedule early, and the tough thing about the schedule as a team was they didn't have time to practice because they were traveling or playing in tournaments where you played back-to-back. So that hurt, and of course, getting Miles Bridges back would help any team, and that certainly has given them a quality 6'7" tough athlete that really plays to win and knows how to play, and so that's an improvement. But a team like Michigan State, they work so hard in practice that they're going to get better. You never know how good a team can get, but they're on the rise now, and I think they'll be as good as most teams in the country within a week or so. In the case of Nebraska, I think that's a good example of confidence. In other words, once they got the Indiana win at Indiana, they knew that they were capable of competing in the Big Ten, and I don't think they ever had that before. And so that was an important win. They'll probably look back on that win a few years from now as even bigger than they feel it is now. And what they do is they play very good defense, and as long as your defense is there, you have a chance against good teams. And you know, they never quit. Their game against Maryland, they could have quit several times, and they kept coming back until they got the win. And Tim Miles, you can see they enjoy playing for Tim. They want to play for Tim, and you know, it's really a good situation at Nebraska right now.
And the clear-cut favorites at the beginning of the year, Wisconsin, Indiana, Purdue. But when you look at the Hoosiers, they've lost 3 straight games. I guess the question here is, what's going on at Indiana?
Well, they have 2 really good wins in the bank. To beat Kansas and North Carolina early, that puts you in good shape for the end of the year in terms of the NCAA tournament. What's happened with Indiana, I think Yogi Ferrell was a great player. Great players, they make other players better. And so when you're playing with a Yogi Ferrell, you're a little more open, you get better shots because the defense really focuses on that. The other thing with Ferrell, Indiana really likes to run. I really like the style that Tom Crean plays. And when you have a great point guard like that, you can afford to really run and, you know, make great plays in transition and all those things. And they're not quite getting that from their guard play right now, and it hurts them. The other thing is, if you play an up-tempo game, there's a lot of transition situations for Indiana defensively, and it's hard to play defense in transition. Really good teams do that, but it's hard to do. And right now, they're giving up too many easy shots in transition, which obviously hurts your chances to win.
And let's talk about some of the teams that didn't make the tournament last year, like Northwestern and Minnesota. They seem to be on an upward trend, as well as Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah, I think both Minnesota and Northwestern are tournament teams. Now they have to work to make it, but you know, they've both developed a way to play, and I think they're tough people to play, especially at home. And you look at Michigan, you know, obviously is a team with great basketball tradition, and they're right there. I think in Michigan's case, they still have to shoot the ball pretty well to be really effective, but especially at home, I think Michigan can really be a tough team. And Ohio State, even though they lost to Purdue, I think they can get something out of that game. They can get the idea that that game is right there for theirs to win. And the key thing in the Big Ten this year is when you lose, and everybody's going to lose a game or two at some point during the season, is how you come back from that loss. You have to use that as a positive thing, like, you know, in Ohio State's case, we were right there. We could have won the game. Maybe we should have won the game. And so you take that into practice the next day, and hopefully that develops. But you're looking at a league right now that has probably 11 legitimate teams that could make the NCAA, but could is, you know, the trending word here, because there's no guarantees for anybody right now. And, you know, Wisconsin's out undefeated, Michigan State's out undefeated, and they should be fine. Purdue should be fine, teams like that. But at the same time, there's that group of 7 or 8 teams that are really good. They're good basketball teams, but they're going to have to scrap and fight to get there.
Thanks so much, Gary, for your insight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.